You don't have to wait 30 years to get rich. Diversified portfolios, budgets, and banking, everything on the stock market, it's a failed financial experiment. There's a predictable method that will allow you to improve your finances today, create more cash flow, and get rich right. Stop scrimping, sacrificing, relying on investments outside of your control, and setting yourself up for disappointment. Use this method instead that doesn't require high risk to get high return or defer happiness in the name of retirement. See, my grandpa worked for 40 years of his life in a coal mine. He even repaired televisions and played in a band on nights and weekends to make ends meet. If he would have left his money in the market from 2000 to 2002 or 2008 to 2010, all that he worked for would have been cut in half, and even worse, he may have never mentally recovered. The good news is he wasn't relying on the market. He and my grandma got out early when they became my first clients. The keys? Downside protection, leveraging knowledge and processes, creating efficiency like saving on tax. So let me break down what I did for them and how this could work for you. The first piece is to recover cash. Too many people are paying too much in taxes. If you can find lost money that's rightfully yours, like interest, tons of people are paying way too much in interest because they haven't renegotiated interest rates or restructured loans or learned the cash flow index where you take your loan balance divided by your minimum monthly payment, and if it's less than 50, you have an inefficient loan. You got to restructure it. You got to refinance it. You got to renegotiate those interest rates, or you got to take underperforming assets and pay that off so you get a guaranteed improvement in your cash flow. There's people that have duplicate coverages with their insurances, low deductibles, high costs because of that, short-term elimination periods on disability or insignificant policies. My grandparents had accidental policies that would pay them if they went to the hospital, but they had medical insurance. So I'm like, why are we doing these supplemental policies that have high premiums and low benefit? By eliminating that helped them recover cash. They were paying taxes on the gains in their mutual funds. We had to move those to more tax-efficient places. And I'll kind of unveil more of what we did, but you begin by recovering cash, not by cutting back. You begin by being more efficient, not by saving more money through effort. The second thing is to engineer wealth. Engineer wealth says, okay, what is it that you need on a monthly basis to continue with the same lifestyle? How can we create enough cash flow from assets or business that doesn't require your daily involvement to cover your basic expenses? It's called economic independence. So let's figure it out. When it comes to investing, what do you know? What are your strengths? Can you invest in your business? Can you scale and grow that? Can you pay off loans to improve cash flow? Can you invest in things that you know? It's really about doing the smart things here. And so if you want to learn how to discover where you have the best strengths and where you're stressed out or where there's holes, you can go to wealthfactory.com/no more budget to discover this so you can start engineering wealth. Now, the third thing to get rich in 5 years is to accelerate investment income. It's to become a cash flow investor. So how can you take investments that are only accumulation based, waiting for 30 years, hoping compound interest will get you there, the slow track that's very dangerous and dogmatic, and start creating cash flow from day one? Because if you create cash flow from your assets, you become economically independent. Instead of trying to save 10% of your income and earn 10% of that income, you can now create enough cash flow to cover all of your expenses, which means 100% of what you make can be reinvested. That's a 10 times more effective strategy. So what can you do here? Well, let's look at, can you increase the reach of what you're doing with your investments so it helps more people? Can you turn into cash flow areas that are merely accumulating, like a retirement plan? Start investing that. For some, they're good at real estate. For others, they're good at business. And there's people that go acquire businesses that cash flow from day one. So let's look at the fourth thing that helps you get rich right and helps you get there within 5 years. It's to scale business revenue. You've got to make sure that you have an entrepreneurial aspect if you're working in an organization that says if you impact the bottom line, you increase your income. It's about expanding your means. It's about growing your revenues. If you're a business owner, that means it's time for you to delegate the things that drain your energy, that you're not best at. Hire the right people to do that so you could do what you do best and do more of that. It's not just about growing an organization to huge numbers. It's really about growing who you are so you invest more into yourself and you delegate roles to people so they own that so you can own the very best of who you are. Other ways that you can scale business revenue have to do with creating a compelling vision. It might be investing in the right people, the right processes, or the right technological procedures that create automation. And once you have those things, you can start seeing more exponential growth. So if you were to take money that's going to a retirement plan and instead allocate that into your business, could you produce more with it? And would that increase your cash flow? Where can you build infrastructure that doesn't require your being there because of automation, something like the video that I'm doing here? So you can go to wealthfactory.com/private if you want to find a team that can support you in building this out. Answer a few questions, have a conversation, and see if Wealth Factory can help you. Now, the fifth thing is to make it count. So you only get one life. So what are you going to do with it? Make it count is about you being your greatest asset, not some stock, bond, or piece of real estate. How do you invest in yourself, in your skill set, in your experiences so you don't have a life you're trying to retire from? You retire the notion of retirement and you stay engaged in purpose. That you take little mini vacations along the way so you come back relaxed, rejuvenated, and that you absolutely can produce more value. Make it count is for people that want to shrug sacrifice, because this notion of budgeting and cutting back and eliminating and scrimping is exhausting and no one shrinks their way to wealth. You don't have to wait 30 years to get rich. Diversified portfolios, budgets, and banking, everything on the stock market is a failed financial experiment. So what can you do? You leverage 5 things. You recover cash and plug the leaks. You engineer wealth, so you figure out what your monthly nut is that you have to earn to continue with the same lifestyle, and you find ways to create cash flow from entrepreneurial income that doesn't require daily involvement or assets that produce cash flow. When that starts to happen, then you move to accelerating investment income. What assets do you have that aren't producing cash flow? Become a better cash flow investor and turn on that cash flow tap. Then scale business revenue. You could read hundreds of books on finance and they never talk about the benefit of growing your business, where it's more profitable. And guess what? Business is 3-dimensional. The more cash flow you create without your direct involvement, the more equity that's created. The more equity that's created, the more net worth you have. And the more you're doing something that matters, the more personal fulfillment you have. So scaling business revenue is one of the key segments and secrets to truly creating economic independence and getting rich in 5 years. Now, the 5th one is to make it count. To invest back into yourself, to enjoy life along the way, to create a purpose that matters, to relax and rejuvenate every now and again so you show up the best version of who you are. So you never want to retire from the things that you do. See, there is a predictable method that will allow you to improve your finances today, generate more cash flow, and get rich right now. You have the knowledge to transform your thoughts into profits and build the life you love. Looking for more on this topic? Check out my video on how to create wealth. You'll learn how to invest in yourself and how to create automated systems that work. I'll see you there.